Hello, hello, hello. Where'd I go again? Hold on, I just had that set up correctly. No, don't do this to me. There I am. I don't know what's going on with Ecamm. I did an Ecamm update today and I corrected this. I corrected it between live streams and I disappeared. I got disappeared again. I got disappeared again. Oh, how is everybody doing? How are we doing today? Did people survive another day of Tesla carnage? Let's see. We know Wavy's here because he starts off Tesla, Tesla's Tesla, and he's Bear Wavy is very happy today. A short 1,000 at the open, and then doing a little bull play at the end. So that's good. And Dave, congratulating a Bear Wavy. Let's see, what else do we have? After hours going 950s again. We'll take a look. It was an interesting day, selling right off the bat. Here, by the way, let's take a look at the bigger picture first. Sub 1,000 close. So you see every other time was just above 1,000, and today is the sub 1,000 close. So first close below 1,000 since October 22nd before we went above 1,000. This did on a daily basis trigger the massive double top. I am watching for the weekly close this week to see if that triggers it. Here's that double top. It's really nice on the weekly basis. So keep that in mind. That's what I will be watching. Where are we after hours? 956. Still holding above that key 950 area. Let's get down to some charts. I think you can guess we never got to bull mode today. Never got to bull mode. Never, ever, 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 ever. I'll be watching above about 974, 974.50 area for bull mode tomorrow, and that would be minor bull mode. Why is it very minor bull mode? Again, let's go through. Weekly is still technically in bullish mode unless we get the close below about this 908, but that does not mean you have to, that means over a long term, we're still watching for that potential strong rotation back up. We already have one rotation out of the rotation zone, but now we're closing well within it so far. So we can watch for that other side, but daily, bearish mode. What does bearish mode means? If you're taking bullish trades, you aggressively move up your stops and cover at key areas. 4 hour in bearish mode. The top or the bottom of the 4 hour rotation zone is now just above 1,000. So even on a rotation or a run back up to 1,000, which is now, that was prior major support. Now it is major resistance and the rolling over rotation zone. So yeah, could we come up here and rally? Easily. But can we rotate back down? Easily. Double easily. 1 hour rotation zone in bearish mode. By the way, before I forget, yes, this is a double bottom. What's interesting about this is this second target is just beyond this candle body. I will still watch that, but that only means if we got to close above this high from last week of 1072.38. So we will keep an eye on that if it can rally back up, but that's got a lot of work to do. That's got a lot of work to do. Let's go through some price action for today. You look good for a disappeared person. It's always. I'm back though. I disappeared and now I'm back. Hard to get bull mode when Eon's brokers hammering that sell button at the O. Yeah, it was right off the bat. The great rollover play, I said there's no play early on from the bullish side because we just had the cascading selling all the way down. Nice little gap. What again, right off the bat, just in case we were going to bounce back, you put on this. But even with that first 5-minute bar, and then you look, where do I look for a retest? Remember, between the 50 and the 62, running up there. You can even see this on the 1 minute. And you know how much I love the 1 minute chart. But this was the great little thing. So we sold off. Here's that low right first 5-minute bar. Coming up here, 1 minute rotation zone, coming up right to that 50% level, and then rolling over with just relentless selling all the way down. So I'm not going to keep dragging this down through all the levels because we never got above a key level for a gap fill. But that's how you were in bear mode. Now we had some potential uh, double bottoms that did not. I mean, they didn't. You had one here. The one that you had this little play. So this was the first little thing. There's only a couple plays on the bullish side today. This little one right here, which hit the first and second targets, remember, and could not close above the 5-minute rotation zone. So it was essentially first, second target out, and then roll over again. This was not a double bottom; it was just a divergence in that key cluster area. I put in the Discord server 952.50 to 950.80 area was a key area. The next one after we broke below this 960, which was a cluster that we had from back on the, that was identified back on the some point in the 10th of December. So that's been in place. Let me remove some of these other key areas that we just went through. Neaten up the chart. So that was a nice little bottoming area. I will show you another little play I like. And I also put in the Discord server that even on these plays, you gotta watch because you're against all these rotation zones. So you have to aggressively move up stops and take profits as you ratchet through the rotation zones. Yeah, Dave spent a good chunk of the morning ratcheting down the retracement. It's always good to do. I'm just not going to do it on the live stream. We've done enough, and it never even got above that 62.5. You can see here, even from the lows of the day, so from the prior day's close even to the lows, it would have had to get back above 992. And it's also interesting how you come up from that lows of the days and right up to that 37.5 level and then rolled over. But that was also, I'll show you why. This is another little play I like, aggressive long. When you come off a divergence bottom, see how we stalled out here. We got the first cross of the 5-minute rotation zone. Let me switch cameras here. We got the first cross of the 5-minute rotation zone. And then here's a little very aggressive play I like coming off of these bottoming moves. Return to the first cross of the 5-minute rotation zone and a rotation up. Now this is not something, it's a 5-minute little play. And so your key area after that was to watch for the 15-minute you got through there. But then look, this is where you're ratcheting up. This is why you have to be so aggressive on moving up stops and taking profits, running into the 1-hour rotation zone and pausing back there. And now even from the close, we're back down after hours. But after hours, as we all know, whips around. Why my bullish line in the sand is where it is tomorrow is we can get back above here. We'll at least be into the 1-hour rotation zone. Okay? And so there may be some minor bullish plays if the selling does not come in tomorrow. And if this was Elon selling, he's been doing about 1 day a week, so it might be out of the way for this week. But you can, if you see those selling momentum bars, do not stand in front of it. And if you don't say it, trade from the short side, like Wavy did today, step out of the way until you see the major exhaustion or you get a really good bottoming signal. And still you get to be aggressive with your targets. I mean, conservative with your targets, aggressive with your stops, because as you get through these rotation zones, you can rotate back down. So that little 5-minute play was just like a little quick scalp. When it started to run into this next rotation zone higher, after the 15-minute, then you got to aggressively raise your stops and take something off. So tomorrow above there, there's was the nice thing is when you have this kind of selling, you get above bullish mode, you don't have a ton of stopping points. We got this 92 harmonic level where you have this little shelf right here. So that's a really good target above this 974.42. You can anywhere from about this 982.04 to around in here. So this would be an area to lighten up and move up stops if you get a rally on. Then above that, right back around about 991. Then above that, I mean, this is going into what we call an advanced clear path. So there's not a lot of stopping points. Here's a couple right there, but then above there, you don't have much till you get to 1,000. Then 1,005 is the highs from today. So that's what I'll be watching for if we do get any bullish run tomorrow. Now, if we roll over, again, this today's lows to that 950 area. Remember that 950 area. The gap open here was 950.53 and the low is 944. So you start getting below 950.53. I'm targeting 944. Below 942 to 944, we have a little harmonic there. Then below that, if we're going to bearish mode again tomorrow, I got 935 cluster area, 934 to 935. Then next major cluster is all the way back down at about 920 to 922. And remember, we're in the full gap fill then with potentials back to 909.68. So you start seeing selling pressure coming in here. It could, and you get below into this gap fill area with momentum. That I would not step in front of it unless you got a strong reversal pattern. That's where you just sit on your hands till they go numb. If you're bullish only. If you're bearish, then take full advantage of it. You know, do those puts, do those put spreads, borrow shares to sell. You know, you can short this thing. It's the short interest is still low. What else do we have? By the way, super aggressive long play is if we close tomorrow above today's high. You'd have to wipe out this whole candle and close above today's high, which was 1,005. So not only would it have to gain that 1,000 level, it would have to wipe out today's entire candle, and that would be super aggressive because look at the daily rotation zone, not far above that. The bottom is coming in at this 1026 and you have a 1030 significant level still. So that's like a quick, if you got something up there, that would be a quick play that you're definitely having to raise stops going into the daily rotation zone. So that's what I'm keeping an eye out for. And as I talked about with the market stream, let's talked about it with the market stream or the market overview today, trading around a core position. Let me go. I don't know if everybody was in that, but I'll point this out again because I like to do a little lessons. And here, this is hypothetical. Okay. And before we get into that, yes, the selling takes place. You get the momentum right off the open. When it's they don't. I mean, I don't know who's executing his orders, but they have the day to do it. But I mean, they just go dump off the open. They go dump. You know. So here's your hypothetical. Here's a way to trade around the core position. So let's just hypothetically say tomorrow closed above today's high. You're getting in. We're just going to use a nice round number. You're getting in 100 shares. Or you can even go Tesla. It's Tesla. So let's go 10 shares. All right. So you're getting in with 10 shares. Now it runs up. You are moving up a stop, and I'd be taking off like 5 of those shares as it got in this daily rotation zone, especially if we got any topping pattern in like a short-term topping pattern in here. So let's say you're exiting, you're running some up, you're exiting, and you get your stop to break even. Then if it goes higher, you still have that half the position on. And then if it triggered this massive double, you could re-add back those 5 shares. So you're in 5 shares still from lower, then you add back in, and then you're trying to take advantage of that full double. So we've talked about it in the last couple of times about front running. Well, you need to front run only with a pattern. You don't front run because you think something's going to happen. Because if it doesn't, if we never close tomorrow above today's high, there's no trade. So there's nothing to do. If we go lower, there's no trade because what's it still favor? Lower prices. No, conversely, here's why. Let's say you close tomorrow above today's high. You get in with those 10 shares again. It comes up here. You exit 5 of them, lock in some profit, and you get your stop to break even. Why? You roll back down, comes back down, hits that level, you're out. So you took a little run up, and then it stopped you out because the rotation zone is still favoring rotating down. Then if there's another bullish setup, you can get back in, but you took 5 off, you locked in something, you didn't lose anything on the other half. And then finally, the worst case scenario, well, there's technically two other scenarios. A, you don't trigger anything, so tomorrow there was no bullish anything. There might have been a shorter term bullish play, but there's nothing on a daily basis. So then you're not in. Okay? Or let's say it came up, it closed above there, and then immediately reversed back down. Well, you know your risk you're taking. If it gets back down below the low of this candle, you got to be out because it didn't even get to the daily rotation zone, which is still favoring lower prices. You took an aggressive buy, and then you're going to have to take a stop loss if it rolls back down below this candle's low. So those are your 4 scenarios, but you just don't buy because you see a potential bullish setup on the chart, because that's still a long way away and has to prove itself. But that's a little lesson on how you can trade around a core position, but you have to wait for some kind of signal. There is actually a buy signal if it does tomorrow, if it does get above today's high. But again, that's super aggressive. Now, if we continue lower and get down below this 934 area, this potential double on the daily is done. It's over. It's kaput. It's no more. It never even confirmed, so you can't use those levels anymore. And just because levels are on the chart does not make it any more bullish. It's actually in bearish mode. So just because you have a potential, that's all it is. It's a potential. All right? And you can roll that around with other, that can be done on shorter term intraday bases, okay? I was just showing you a daily example. All right, I mean, I'm trying just seeing if there's not a lot of bullish setups, but let's say you were in here something. Let's say you still got in with you got in something with divergence lows, or you got in something with this, and you took something off. You took off half, and your stop, you're giving it a little more risk. Now, if this triggers a double, let's say this comes down. Actually, all right. So let's say you're in down here. Let's just make another hypothetical. Down here, you took something off in the 1 hour rotation zone. In the morning, it rotates back down, makes a 1 hour double bottom. All right. And you still have something on because let's say you have a hypothetical stop below these lows and it doesn't get below those lows. And then it moves up and triggers that 1 hour double bottom. Then you could re-add to some position. So let's say you had 10 shares you put on down here. You took off 5, rolls back down. You got this double bottom, potential double bottom that then triggers. You add back on those 5 shares. And then as it hits some key levels, you take off the 5 shares and you move up your stop on the remaining 5. So all you're doing is trading around a position, but using other triggered trades or other potential trade setups to manage the position higher. That's how it can be done on a short-term basis. Same idea. What I'm also trying to tell you here is if you get trades on down here, don't go Tesla's going to 1200. I'm going to try to hold a 1 hour trade for 1200. No. You're better to lighten up at some key levels, and then you can still ratchet up a stop should Tesla make a little run higher. But you don't go, boy, I'm all right. I got something down here at the 965 area. I'm going to ride that. Not just at 1200, we're going to 1400 with it. That's insane, because if you could even run up here and then roll back down and go to new lows, and you never locked in anything. So at least trail a stop on anything you're doing down here, because you're in bearish mode on so many time frames. Wavy says, ever since I started watching, I'm always flipping between all the time frames. Yes. It prevents you from getting tunnel vision. Yeah, there. Helps me from getting tunnel visioned. Yeah. If you keep everything in perspective, like, all right, I'm in a 5-minute trade. Oh, wait, we're coming up against, all right, I got in something here. But look, we're running up to that 1 hour rotation zone. I better at least raise my stops and or take something off. I don't want it to rotate back down and take a winner turning into a loser. It was a 5-minute trade. So flip in between it, and let's see where that 4-hour rotation zone is. All right, if it starts to run, if we get some momentum tomorrow above 974 and we get above the other side of the daily rotation zone, maybe I can then go back to that 1,000 level and keep ratcheting up a stop as we get close to that 1,000 level and take some more off at that 1,000 level. Any questions? You gotta keep going through your time frames and really use stops to your benefit, especially when you're going against a larger term trend, which is negative on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily. All right. Hey, I'm still here with the other camera. Hello. I'm still here. I dressed up for everybody. See, I got my sweat jacket and my bamboo white shirt. This is bamboo. So I'm living the dream, the bamboo dream. Uh, Thank you. Thanks for everybody who's here watching it. Everyone have a great night. I will see everyone in uh, Discord tomorrow. And I really appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.